Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, Just Draw Something, where we learn to draw together. Alright everybody, today we are going to be drawing Tanjiro from Demon Slayers. What we are going to be doing is we are going to be breaking down his face into easily recognizable landmarks, so that way we can draw him pretty effortlessly. However, I would like to say that if you are a beginner, just be patient. It comes in time. I started at a place where I wasn't so good, and I am still learning today. So I thought I'd share what I learned with you guys in a slower video, so that way you guys can do breakdowns yourself. I will be using my iPad Pro, and I will be using Procreate. However, do not be bothered by that. Just use whatever you have available to you, even if it's just a pencil and paper. And if you can, print out the image so that way you can draw over it, so that way you can go ahead and identify these features and art style of whoever you are doing. But for today, we are doing Tanjiro. All right, guys, let's start. All right, so we have our reference image here. It is always important to start off with some kind of reference image so that way you can get all of the proportions correct. At this point, I like turning the opacity down on the reference layer. From there, I create a new layer so that way I can start drawing over my reference picture. My favorite pen to sketch with is the ink bleed pen. And then I change the color to a bright color that I can see while I am drawing over the reference image. The first step is drawing a circle, or finding the circle. Usually that starts a little below the nose, and then I map out the face, starting with the eyebrows and the center line as you see here. Alright, so after finding the eyebrow location, I tend to just go down and find where the other locations are. Usually I start with the middle of the eye, and then I work on the ears. The ears usually start in the center of the eye. Now it may be different because his expression looks somewhere between surprised and angry, so it might be different when you are drawing a normal eye. So from here, I just continue to find where the features are placed and how they are placed in accordance to the lines that I have drawn. As you can see here, I am trying to find the very top of the eye and the very bottom of the eye, so that way I can get a sense of how big this character's eyes are. So after mapping out all of the features and their locations, I tend to draw in some smaller details so that way I can get comfortable with the line weight the person is using. It is very important that you draw these small details and familiarize yourself with the line art and the line weight, so that way it will translate to your own personal work. If you are coloring, I always like to make a quick note of the light source. So after I am done finding all of the features' correct spots, I will take that overlay and I will move it so that way I can see and use it as reference for my original picture that I will be drawing of this character. So although I drew a whole bunch of lines so that way I can identify where each feature lies, I like taking some generalized measurements outside of the face just so that way I can translate it to my own personal drawing of this character. Alright guys, a huge note or huge tip that I like to tell people is if you look at where I made the measuring lines, you will see that line that is right under the circle. That is where the chin starts forming into a V shape. And right above that, you want to make sure the lines coming off of the circle on the side of the face are just at a very slight angle, if not almost straight. If you look in the mirror, you will notice that your face, well, some faces will drop straight down and some will drop at a slight angle to the jaw. So make sure you guys do make that line to accommodate that V taper on the chin. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and speed things up When you guys are comfortable with all of the feature placements, then you're just going to apply that to your own work so that way it is not a traced piece. All right, now that I have all of the features placed the way I like them, I will make my sketch bigger and I will turn the opacity down. I will also remove all of the other reference layers and I will start inking my completed work to see how closely it matches up. So those small details that I mentioned before drawing to familiarize yourself with sort of the line weight is very important in this step. When you are doing your either inking or your final sketch, then you will have the line weight there that you need to make the picture look either similar or make your picture look good within your own style. Right now I am drawing the mask, but I am not really going to go over how I drew the mask because we are just more focusing on the face and the placement of features to achieve a similar style. Alright, so I know a lot of people have trouble drawing the hair. However, we will go over that in another video, but my quick advice for this is just draw the flow of the hair. So look at the reference picture that you're drawing and just kind of draw lines on the hair in whatever direction it's facing from the base. So that way you can see how the hair flows and what direction it goes. Alright guys, so I am just adding some more details and experimenting with line weight. As I can see, this artist really uses a lot of inking in their art. So I'm just gonna experiment. I'm gonna just draw a quick kimono on him. I think he's wearing a kimono or shirt, but it's not gonna be detailed at all. It's just gonna be very sketchy, very just non-interesting because I'm not trying to pull any attention away from the face. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and further ink him, maybe adjust some features that I don't like that I drew, and just add just a little more detail to finish up the sketch. Alright, so now I merged all the layers that I use because I like using a lot of different layers, like one for the hair, one for the eyes, one for the mouth, just so that way I can erase. But usually I'll go in and I will change the brightness and saturation of my ink lines so that way they're a little darker for when I do want to color, or if I ever want to color a picture. I'm not sure I'm going to color this picture, but who knows, maybe that will be in a upcoming video. Okay, for this style, they use a lot of inking to achieve their shadows. In the hair, it looks like they sort of outline or inline, I don't know what it's called exactly, and they add a few points on the shadow to make it look like it's kind of shaded in for the hair, as you can see that I am doing here. It is very ink heavy. So if you do not have strong inking skills, you can save that for the coloring phase. Alright guys, and here it is. Now, the final step I like doing is I like taking my picture that I drew and compare it against my reference. What I'll do is I'll usually merge all of my ink layers into one ink layer, and then I will take it, move it over my reference picture, and see how well it lined up with the picture. Alright guys, that is the end of the video. I encourage you to use some of these techniques or even all of these techniques in your art so that way you guys can become more efficient and faster drawers. I know that learning to draw can be a bit of a struggle, but there is always a more faster and efficient way to get there. So practice smart and always look for a way to improve that is more efficient. Don't forget to comment below on something you'd like to be drawn, and I will use that in an upcoming video. I will take whatever that comment says, learn how to draw it, then guide you through my process on how I achieved drawing that item or thing. So those specific videos are always posted every Thursday. Don't forget to comment below with any feedback or critiques, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications. Have an awesome day today.